Tonight, hooray, as Channels Television marks 21st anniversary in grand style. In other stories, topping the stories tonight, the peace in Maiduguri is broken again as two suicide bombers detonate explosive devices, leaving 17 people wounded. The two terrorists died in the process. Coalition of results in the Rivers rerun elections still on the way as PDP and the APC trade allegations on the conduct of the exercise. And 25 people were killed in a bomb explosion at the Coptic Christian Cathedral complex in Cairo, Egypt's capital city. The gala night of the 21st anniversary of Channels Television, which held moments ago in Lagos. It was a bumper event with many dignitaries in attendance. Some of those who graced the occasion are the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, a host of state governors, Africa's richest man, Mr. Aliko Dangote, and business mogul, Mr. Dele Fajemiroku. Also present are veteran broadcasters and journalists, including the Channels family, led by the chairman of Channels Media Group, Mr. John Momo, and vice chairman, Mrs. Shola Momo. In his opening remarks, Mr. Momo gave a background of the journey to greatness of Channels Television, while the vice chairman shared her experience on the journey so far. The Minister of Information, Mr. Lai Mohammed, used the platform to ask Channels Television to champion Nigeria's digitization of the broadcast industry in Nigeria.
With successful digitization, there will be a boost for TV and online advertisement, plus wholesalers, retailers, electricians, installers, who all will be required to service the blossom industry. Apart from the creation of jobs, the other advantages of digital broadcasting, they include savings in cost of infrastructure, enabling new broadcasting business models, improved coverage quality, better picture and sound quality, introduction of mobile broadcasting instead of just delivering television services to fixed receivers, provision of value-added services, electronic program guides, and better utilization of frequencies. I have no doubt that Channels Television, a multi-award winning trailblazer, will leverage heavily on the goodies of digitization to leapfrog to the stratosphere of television and beyond in the years ahead. Again, happy anniversary, Channels, and best wishes for a greater future.
The Minister of Information, Mr. Lai Mohammed. One person has been killed and 17 others injured in an explosion in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. The National Emergency Management Agency says the explosion was carried out by two suicide bombers, a male and a female, near the popular Monday market. In the meantime, the Borno state government has called for an emergency meeting with the management of all markets within the Maiduguri metropolis. Governor Kashim Shettima confirmed this after visiting those receiving treatment at the Maiduguri Specialist Hospital.
There is ongoing counter-insurgency operations in the Sambisa forest, and naturally we have to anticipate these lunatics coming down to this terrain. But most importantly, we'll meet with the security personnel, the management of markets, and of course the civilian JTF to come up with a roadmap on how to really reinforce the security in the markets and take proactive measures to forestall future occurrences. They did a very good job. We lost only a single soul. About 18 people sustained injuries, but we lost only a single soul. But we don't even want to lose a single person going forward. So we are taking measures. We will meet, but these are not issues that we can speak out so bluntly.
In a similar incident, the death toll from the Madagali bomb attack is said to have risen to 30, with several other people sustaining injuries. Those injured are getting attention in Michika and Mubi General Hospitals. The Madagali attack was carried out by 2 suicide bombers on Saturday.
The attack, said to be one with the highest death toll in recent times in Adamawa State. The member representing Madagali constituency in the Adamawa State House of Assembly, Honorable Emmanuel Samdu, in company of the chairman of Madagali Local Government Council, Alhaji Yusuf Mohammed, to assess the situation.
The situation on the ground is terrible. The state government promised us that there were going to be doctors to be sent to this hospital, but they are yet to arrive. And the situation is terrible. We don't know the number of the casualties now. I'm also in the hospital right now, but we don't know the number. And the situation is too much that it is beyond the control of even the Adamawa State government. We are therefore calling on the federal government to intervene.
The injured are in Michika General Hospital, waiting for medical attention. When Channels Television crew arrived, only 2 medical doctors were on ground, assisted by personnel of the International Red Cross Committee, providing first aid treatment.
Apart from the help that Red Cross offered to us, some soldiers offered to the victims. I'm calling intentionally to the state government, even the federal government, to intervene in this situation.
It's very, very terrible. And this is one of the worst ever suicide bomb that ever taken place in not this local government, but the whole state. So the situation is terrible. It's very, very pathetic.
The chairman of the JTF and Hunters Association, Mr. Garba Tarfa, tells Channels Television that the attack could have been avoided.
On reaching Madagali, we discovered that there was a suicide bomb committed by 2 girls. Themselves, they are dead. And we confirmed that about 60 people were dead. And about 100, more than 110 were injured. I also discovered that there was a problem between my hunters and the army at Madagali.
Meanwhile, life seems to be returning to normalcy as people are going about their businesses. Traders in the market where the bomb blast took place are out, displaying their wares.
Meanwhile, residents of Adamawa State have been asked to remain vigilant and report suspicious persons and activities to relevant security agencies. That's according to Governor Muhammad Windo. He made this note after a security meeting to assess the situation in the state while maintaining law and order. The governor also sympathized with relatives of those who died in the incident.
I want to tell our people that they should be very vigilant. This time around, these BMs, they are looking for soft targets. Our president has wonderfully done well in attacking the insurgency, which now they have reduced them to 0 and minimum level. But what is remaining now is our people, the civilians themselves, have to be very vigilant. They have to seriously know who is talking to them, who is around them, so that you know who is your neighbor. Finally, I want to thank the press and thank everybody, and I pray this thing will come to an end very soon.
The Governor of Adamawa State, Muhammad Windo. In the meantime, 5 suspected members of the Boko Haram terrorist sect have been killed in Yobe State. A top military officer of the 233 Battalion of the Nigerian Army in Damaturu told Channels Television that insurgents were killed between Kureta and Sasawa communities along the outskirts of the Damaturu area where the state capital lies. The operations were successfully executed on a tip-off from residents who informed security forces of the presence of the terrorists. Some items recovered from the terrorists include AK-47 rifles, 3 of them, 4 mobile phones and 3 jackknives. The army asked residents to continue to remain watchful and report suspected members of the Boko Haram sect to security operatives. Well, I'm now being joined on the news at 10 by Captain Aliu Umar retired to look at the resurgence of attacks by Boko Haram in Nigeria's northeast. I want to thank you so much indeed for coming on the news at 10 at this time. What do you think is the reason for this new wave of attacks, a resurgence of Boko Haram that was thought to have been defeated completely?
First and foremost, let me condole with the families of the deceased and also congratulate Channels all at once. Okay?
Thanks.
Now, so to your question, tomorrow is Maulud al-Nabi, the Prophet's birthday. We know the kind of people Boko Haram are, so this could be actually their own birthday gift. Ordinarily, having profiled them, I would have expected a situation where security operatives will stand to 48 hours to any major religious event. And having said that, I would also say Madagali is not new to Boko Haram attacks. Neither is the Monday market. I recall some years back, markets, girls, as in young girls, bomb couriers were recurrent decimals in this terrorism business. And I recalled when Terminus happened in Jos and the park and the other market in Abuja, Yanya, I recalled asking if there was actually any will to profile a blueprint, a security counter and anti-terrorism blueprint that should be able to address any gathering of more than 500 people at any location, particularly markets. I don't think that is happening. You see, the military, the police, the law enforcement agencies can do so much. But at a certain level again, the civilian populace, people, citizens, also have to do so much. Our markets need to get organized.
Is there a correlation, do you think, between the release of the Chibok girls and then before there was set to be a trade of some Boko Haram captains that were released? Is there a correlation between that and what is happening now?
There may be, but I doubt if there is. I'll tell you why. Except, of course, we tend to have this very unique, unusual approach to things. In the global scenario, terrorists that have been traded back in, just like benched footballers, is useless. That is, I'm assuming our law enforcement agencies have done what should be done. If you went to a place like Guantanamo and took a terrorist, like the ones that were exchanged for Sergeant Bagdal, even if he drops a sweat anywhere on the planet, the Americans will know because everything about him is already codified. So he couldn't possibly, he's not useful. Okay? So that may be the case, that may not be the case, because with us, there is no certainty. But what I can tell you is, at this moment, the armed forces, the sister law enforcement agencies have all brought us to stabilization at the moment in Maiduguri and the Northeast. Post-stabilization, what will everyone do about this? Let me hit the nail on the head. How many of those markets have a chief security officer?
So the government should be looking towards instituting chief security officers, or the market authorities should do that?
The government has really no hand in this. It's up to the market people to do that. You see, protecting those markets has to be all-inclusive. What the government can do probably to prompt them to action is probably to slam a red alert on that market for 3 months. Then you get what I'm talking about. A lot of money changes hands there. Chief security officers, lead consults can come in and help you do what needs to be done to secure your market. What the markets don't want to do right now is to get organized. But I tell you, a lot of money, if you know how many unions are in there, for example, you'll understand what I'm saying. And you see, if you make it all inclusive, take a typical example of a market where the police comes to say, look, we have a yellow or an orange alert on that market. You go there at your own risk. By the time the shop owners who pay millions per annum for a shop there begin to see a fall in patronage, they're going to breathe down the CSO's neck to do what needs to be done to secure that market.
I want to thank you so much indeed, Captain Aliu Umar, for talking to us at the news at 10, retired, of course, on the resurgence of attacks in Nigeria's northeast.
You're welcome.
In part 2, after the break, controversy continues to trail the collation of results in the Rivers rerun elections. We have that coming up after this break. Join us again.